How would you guys like to wake up every morning, grab some coffee, head to the back porch, and look out at this stunning New Braunfels Hill Country view? We have the most amazing views in New Braunfels, there's no doubt about it. But look guys, I don't care how amazing our Hill Country views are. Please do not buy a piece of land in Hill Country until you're through with this video. Today we're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes buyers make when buying land in the Hill Country. What about you guys? Have you bought land recently in the Hill Country? Are you glad you did? Do you regret it? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new here to my channel, thanks so much for hopping on. Just hit that subscribe button because we're putting out new videos like this one about what it's like to live in New Braunfels every single week. So you come to New Braunfels with plans of moving here and you want a piece of land with a view like this one. So you buy it, right? Now what? Well, you might be SOL. The number one, the biggest mistake people make when buying New Braunfels Hill Country land is they fall in love with the view without first considering the topography that gives you that view. If you've got a great view, you've got slope. You've got a decline from front to back. And when you have that slope, you better have deeper pockets because you'll need it for the foundation, the increased amount of foundation when you build your house. This is one of my favorite experiences / stories because it teaches a very big lesson. We had clients who purchased Hill Country land, almost 3 acres, stunning, spectacular view, just like this one, backs up against the ridge. They're private people, so they want to build their house about 150 feet from the street, and they want a pool in the backyard. Well, because they wanted to build further back, there was some drop off in the land there and slope, which gave them a spectacular view, but it also gave them an estimate for foundation near $250,000. So they decided to sell. It's a great lesson. Look, the further back you want to go, and it's very tempting and enticing, right? To get as close as to that view as possible. But the further back you go, the more drop you're going to have on your land, the more slope, and the more you're going to pay for foundation. Which leads us to the second biggest mistake when buying Hill Country land. How buildable is your lot? How wide is your lot? How deep is your lot? Is it a rectangle? Is it V-shaped? We're in the final stage with the family right now with their house plans. Their lot is wide, but it's really not all that deep. So their yard as it sits right now is like a postage stamp. However, we're able to reach out to the HOA and ask for a variance and ask for, hey, instead of a 50-foot setback from the curb, can we just do 25-foot setback from the curb, which would give the family more room in the backyard. Hey, these views can be very intoxicating, very enticing, very tempting. Another one of our families wanted to build further back on their land for obvious reasons. They wanted more of the 2-story stunning view. But they decided in the end to build closer to the street to avoid all those higher concrete foundation costs. And really they can put that money into the house itself and they're still going to have a great view. The third biggest mistake people make when buying Hill Country land in New Braunfels, and this is a big one guys, is not reading the plat that the developer provides to you, either because you're just kind of skimming over things, you didn't ask questions, or you just didn't know about it. But if you plan on buying Hill Country land in New Braunfels anytime soon, replay this segment several times, or you may land up selling your land after you purchase it for less than what you purchased it because of all the restrictions that were on the plat itself, but you didn't read it, didn't understand it, or didn't bother to ask questions. The plat shows special zones, flood zones, drainage, setbacks, and all of that restricts your buildable space on your lot. And there may not be any room to build the house that you want because of all the restrictions on your lot. Here's an example. Look how little space you have outside these 2 dark lines. That's a restricted area, and you cannot build anything there in that restricted area, so you have a very narrow space. You have to custom tailor a house designed to fit this buildable area. Look at this property. You might say, wow, this looks great. I'm going to put a casita in the back. You can't though because of the restricted space, because of the zone there. You'll put your house and there's barely any room for anything else. Okay, so you have to, please, I'm imploring you, I'm begging you to look at and read the plat and ask questions, guys. If you have any questions, you don't understand something, ask a question before you purchase the property. There are questions that come up all the time, like, am I in a flood zone? Well, you can find that public information out on FEMA.gov, or that information of flood zones, whether you're not in a flood zone, is going to be on that community plat as well. Planned communities like Vintage Oaks and Copper Ridge have already taken that into consideration when they plat their land. And the county requires them to restrict those areas. Dry creeks, which you see here, are flood zones. So check this out. This lot is extremely restricted. These two lines, that's a drainage area that runs down the middle of this lot. If you do a 50-foot setback, which is common in a lot of our planned communities in New Braunfels Hill Country, you do that 50-foot setback from the street, you barely have enough room to build a house, and you're definitely not going to put a pool back there. This is why it's important to read your plat. I know you guys want to punch me because I've said that a million times in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, but please read your plat. It will avoid a lot of big mistakes. If you don't read it, and you don't ask questions, you don't understand it, you're going to end up buying something like this. I mean, look at this huge circle on this lot. You cannot build there because it's a restricted area. So where do you put the house? Then where are you going to put the septic tank? Because you can't put it in the restricted area. The fourth biggest mistake when buying hill country land in New Braunfels is not reading the HOA information. Some HOAs, especially if you live in a gated area, require you to have a metal roof versus shingle or tile. And you know how much metal is these days compared to last year? A lot more, almost 3 times as much as it was last year. So read the HOA information, please. Other HOA restrictions might include that your garage must be side entry, and that's going to play into your buildable space. The fifth biggest mistake when buying hill country land in New Braunfels is underestimating your cost when you're buying more acreage. Sometimes we have clients wanting 3+ acres and they want to be like 500 feet off the road. And so that's a 500-foot driveway leading up to the house. And man, that adds up. And if you want to be that far back, you're probably going to need a well. That's $30,000 to $40,000. And you also have to consider utilities. So any one of these 5 big mistakes or any combination of these 5 big mistakes can be a deal breaker. Look, I get it. Things are moving really quick here. New Braunfels Hill Country is a very hot area and you have to make a decision really quick. Please though, watch this video as many times as you can. Do your homework before purchasing land. And if you're still thinking about purchasing that land or anything else real estate related to New Braunfels, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. You guys know the drill. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.